Hello and welcome to Brewers Daily, part of the Fan Arch Podcast Network. I'm your host, Dave Gasper. We got a lot to get to here today. The Brewers have dropped another one, 6 in a row now. The Brewers losing streak has reached, and this one was a heartbreaker last night. The Brewers, they got really good performance from Jacob Misiorowski. They got a big home run from Jake Bauers, a home run from Gary Sanchez. You think you're looking good. You got a lead heading to the ninth inning. You hand the ball to Trevor Megill, and Trevor Megill blows it. Again, second straight outing now that Megill has struggled, and the Brewers are put in a tough spot there. He gives up 3 in the ninth. The Brewers storm back to tie it in the bottom of the ninth inning, which was fantastic. Brandon Lockridge came up huge with a double to tie the game. Big opportunity for him that he came through on. And then you get to the bases loaded, 2 outs. Joey Ortiz at the plate because, of course, and Joey Ortiz strikes out on 3 pitches. So, yeah. But then you get to the 10th inning, and then you give up 3 more runs, and you end up losing 9-7. So, a struggle there, but really the story here is Trevor Megill and what the Brewers are going to do with that closer spot. Pat Murphy telling us post-game that he is considering a change at closer. Now, for most Brewers fans, after having watched what we've seen the last 2 outings from Megill, it seems long overdue. And look, the way that he's throwing right now has not been good enough. He has really struggled these past couple of outings. His ERA has ballooned from 2.25 to 14.40 over the last 2 outings. Now, granted, we are early in the season here, so it's a very small sample size, so 1 or 2 bad performances can really inflate an ERA, but still, Megill is struggling. There is no doubt about it. He is not throwing the ball well. Pat Murphy said he is considering a change at closer. He wouldn't commit to it in the moment, simply just kind of saying, like, look, I want to talk to other people about it. Like, he's going to talk to his pitching coaches, talk to the ivory tower. They don't want to make those kinds of emotional decisions after a heartbreaking loss like that. And also, Pat Murphy raised a good point. Who's throwing the ball well back there that you can turn to? Right? I mean, Uribe gave up a run in this game. He didn't pitch bad, but he gave up a run. Zerpa struggled previously, so he hasn't been throwing the ball as well. Who really can you turn to in the back end of that bullpen that's pitching well right now? It's kind of a weak group. The bullpen really is a problem right now for this Brewers team. You talk about guys, being taxed late into the postseason last year, being ridden a lot. You're facing the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays made it further than you. Okay, their pitching staff also dealt with the same kinds of things. They dealt with an even shorter offseason and even more workload on their arms last year. So to have this spot and to be in the spot that Trevor Megill is in, it's very unfortunate for the Brewers. And Trevor Megill, again, credit to him. He has owned up to it. He has stood there after each of these past couple of outings and owned it, albeit with several swear words mixed in there as well. Understandably frustrated with his performance because it has been bad. He knows it. He knows it more than anyone else. There were some boo birds at Trevor Megill during this game, during the 9th inning, and Pat Murphy spoke out very strongly against that. The fans in attendance booing Trevor Megill about his performance, wanting more support from him. He saved 30 games for the team last year. He had an elbow injury that he dealt with, ended up coming back and pitching several big innings down the stretch there last season in the postseason. So that is another spot that Pat Murphy just kind of raised as an issue, and wanting fans to give him that kind of support to help him through this difficult stretch that he's in. Because just reminding him that, hey, these are not machines, these are people. They go through tough stuff, they go through bad things that are happening, and wanting to see that kind of support through it. So wherever you stand on the booing your own players, not booing your own players kind of debate, that's not where I'm trying to argue. But that's what Pat Murphy raised. You guys can go at it in the comments below. Do you think it's fair game to be booing Trevor Megill after the struggles that he's had so far? Or is it important to keep in mind hey, he's been really good for this team for the past couple of seasons. Big part of the success last year maybe cut him a little bit of slack and not so much on the Boo Bird. So you guys can have at it and weigh in on that, where you stand. Would you boo McGill? Would you not? But, I mean, Murphy does raise some good points, but also the performances that he's put up, I think it's understandable why the fans are so frustrated with the way that he has pitched here early on, and how this 6-game losing streak has come about. Because you hand a couple of those games to McGill, and instead of 0-6, they're 2-4 at the very least, with how his performances have been. So they are looking at a closer change, as they should. And I think McGill can earn it back, but his fastball is not quite where it needs to be. He needs to be sitting around 100 miles an hour, and he's more around 96, 97 at the moment. And the fastball itself, the movement on it, I just don't think is good enough for him to succeed at 96, 97. I think he needs that extra velocity to miss bats, to get the velo behind it. And he's just not quite there yet. Now, Pat Murphy has also raised the point that his velocity is in a similar spot to what it was at this time last year. So early in the season, kind of gets him a little bit to get going into that triple-digit velocity more regularly. But the important thing is that the results have not been there this year. Last year, even if that is true, the velocity wasn't quite all the way up there, triple digits. In April of last year, he was getting the results. He wasn't having results like this. So that is certainly a frustrating part for McGill and for this closers situation that they have. So where are they going to go? Who knows? But they are looking at potentially making a change here, because this losing skid has gone to 6 games now. And, it dates all the way back to the Red Sox series, losing a couple there. Then you end up getting swept by the Nationals. Now you lose the first one here against the Blue Jays. A really, really tough skid. Bunch of opportunities. They had chances in the 5th and 6th inning. They had 2 runners on, nobody out in those innings. Could not get a run across to get some insurance after a 3-run homer by Jake Bauers. You need to find a way to end it. Jacob Mizrowski pitched incredibly well to end it. He went 5 1/3. Started to lose it a little bit there in the 6th inning. Gave up a solo shot to make it a 1-run game. And then Pat Murphy pulled him and went to the bullpen there, which is understandable. The velo was dipping a little bit. And also, as we found out post-game, Mizrowski was sick. He had been dealing with some sort of bug. He wasn't really feeling well all day. He said every time that he threw his curveball, he felt like he was going to throw up. And feeling like he was going to throw up is how pretty much all the fans in attendance felt watching that 9th inning. It's just been really tough stretch here for this group. And Miz would be that kind of guy you would think would stop it. And he did. The performance he put up was good enough to get that kind of stop. Okay, he did his part, absolutely 100%. The offense did not get the insurance runs needed, and then the bullpen could not close the door, even though they had a lead in the 9th inning there. So it's just one struggle after another. We haven't seen this type of struggle from this Brewers team in quite a while, but they remain confident they're going to get through it, and we just have to kind of believe that they will, and they're going to see it through to the other side, and the luck will start to turn here for them hopefully soon. But it almost feels like it's always one hit after another, because not only do you have struggles there in the closer spot, but you lose Christian Yelich to the injured list. So that move was made official on Tuesday, as we anticipated. Christian Yelich going on the IL. Not a hamstring issue, but it ends up being a left adductor strain, so a groin strain, essentially, for Christian Yelich, and he's out 4 to 6 weeks. The estimated return is mid to late May for Christian Yelich, so they're going to be without him for quite some time. Yelich telling us that this was, really his first ever soft tissue injury that he's had to deal with. So he's not putting a timeline on it, but that's the projected timeline that the Brewers gave us, 4 to 6 weeks, mid to late May for him. So Yelich not going to be back until mid-late May. Jackson Churio not going to be back until early May, most likely. Vaughn not going to be back until early May. So you got a couple of weeks still to go here, losing three of your top bats in this lineup. Very, very unfortunate. And surprise call up here, Greg Jones. I didn't really even mention him on yesterday's show as a possibility. I was looking at the 40-man candidates. I didn't think there would be a 40-man roster move. Now, also, I will just say, I don't think anyone was predicting a Greg Jones promotion here for the Brewers, but they end up calling him up to get that extra outfield, infield type spot. He has infield experience, but Pat Murphy told us he's not expecting any time there for Greg Jones in the infield. It would mostly be outfield help for him. But he also quipped too, it's like, yeah, if these injuries keep up, he may end up pitching at one of these points. So, Greg Jones, minor league free agent signing that they had this offseason, non-roster invite to spring training. So it's like, okay. He seems to just kind of be a gap filler for the time being. I don't think he's going to necessarily be up here for the entirety of the 4 to 6 weeks that Christian Yelich is out. But still, you're going there. I understand kind of why they didn't go with Caro or Pratt. I mean, neither are hitting particularly well in AAA, but they want to get them regular at bats. And if they come up here, the fit's not really there for them to get regular at-bats. Although if Luis Rengifo keeps hitting the way that he's been hitting, Cooper Pratt may be up sooner than later because woof. Same thing with Joey Ortiz. Comes up with the bases loaded, strikes out on 3 pitches, and the 2 pitches that he swings at were out of the strike zone. Woof. That's just not good at all. So I wonder when they could make that change, but Greg Jones ends up getting the call. So, I mean, good for him. Getting the call up, but we'll see how much he actually ends up playing. I wouldn't expect it to be a ton, but we'll see a lot more Brandon Lockridge. We'll see a lot more Luis Matos, I would expect. Matos had a couple of hits in this game on Tuesday night, so that's certainly a possibility there. And also just kind of looking at this group, just to kind of end things on a positive note. We've been ending on some downers and kind of talking about some downers lately. But on a positive note, Gary Sanchez and Jake Bauers are in their version of the 1998 home run race between Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire. I mean, these guys are just going tit for tat here on home runs. Jake Bauers hits a 3-run homer, puts him at 5 on the year, so he leads the team. A few innings later, Gary Sanchez hits a homer, so now he's at 5, and he ties Bauers again for the lead on the team. I mean, it just seems like, they just keep going back at it, back and forth. One of them taking the lead, the other one taking it right back for the home run race. Not the 2 hitters I would have expected to be leading the team in home runs at the beginning of the year. Certainly they've got plenty of power, but there's also a bunch of other guys that have some power as well that you'd think would be up there in the home run total, but hey, props to them. They are having quite the race, and it was helpful to have them for the offense in the early going here, but the Brewers need some more. They need some better situational hitting, some runners in scoring position hitting. They need to be better there. And really, they need their bullpen to be better. They need it to be locked down like it has been for the past several years, and they're just simply not there right now. So they'll get another opportunity today to try and break that skid and get back into the win column. But as of right now, they're sitting at 8-8. They're a 500 team, and it's going to be up to them to snap out of this and get back to being the really strong, productive team that they had been through the first week and a half of the regular season. They started 8-2 through the first 10 games. Now they're down to 8-8. So, luckily it's still early. Everything in the standings is still very jumbled. And the Toronto Blue Jays are a good team, but the Brewers have really got to get back on it and end this losing skid, because you can't have a streak like this go on for too long. You got to be able to get something to balance it out. So hopefully they'll get there, but we shall see, and we'll be continuing to break it all down here on Brewers Daily. So be sure to subscribe and get notified every single time a new episode drops. Follow me on Twitter at dgasper24. I've got content from the clubhouse. I've got content from Pat Murphy that I've got going up on there all the time. So be sure to check that out. Appreciate you watching, and we'll see you again next time for another episode of Brewers Daily.